Well, good morning. So we're back. I'm back with what conscious partners know, number 22 and 23. There's two more after this, so next week we'll do those. But 22 says, this is what conscious partners know, all right? Connecting is sustained by intentionality, so they speak with a positive tone and use only appreciative or neutral words in all transactions, which helps them feel connected most of the time. And number 23, the sign of a thriving relationship is how quickly partners engage in curiosity rather than judgment. Okay, so let's take a look at number 22. Connecting is sustained by intentionality. So they speak with a positive tone and use only appreciative or neutral words in all transactions, which helps them feel connected most of the time. So two things I like about number 22. The first is they feel connected most of the time. And Alfred Adler's great saying, have the courage to be imperfect, comes in here. None of us is perfect. All right? So there will be times when partners might feel disconnected. But then jumping ahead to number 23, the importance of quickly reconnecting. All right? So most of the time, couples feel connected, but if something happens, they reconnect quickly. And then the second piece that strikes me is connecting is sustained by intentionality. And from my experience, like most couples, certainly ours was before we started doing this work, are unconscious, old brain, reactive. And what I try to do in the office and with these blogs is help couples become more conscious, use our new brain, our thinking brain, and become more intentional. And like I tell couples, half of what I do is help people become more conscious, more aware, which in turn leads to being more intentional. If you want a great relationship, you have to be willing to work at it, all right? If you want to be healthy, you need to intentionally eat good food and exercise, and for most of us, that doesn't happen automatically, all right? But we can choose to make those healthy choices. And similarly, if you want a great relationship, you have to make healthy choices on a daily basis. And so they speak with a positive tone and use only appreciative or neutral words in all transactions. Now, for me, the benefit is the new behaviors become as automatic as the old, but the outcome is pleasure, not pain. So why would you go back to doing it the old way? Okay. And then number 23, the sign of a thriving relationship is how quickly partners engage in curiosity rather than judgment. And it was really Harville's wife, Helen. She's the great promoter of curiosity. And in another place, she says, safety is non-negotiable. Without it, human beings may survive, but they cannot, human beings may survive, but they cannot thrive. And she goes further. You cannot control your first thought, but you can control your second. Think before you speak. Curiosity may have killed the cat, but curiosity saves a marriage. The sign of a thriving relationship is how quickly you reconnect. And then the last one, ask not what your partner can do for you, but what you can do for your relationship. So their belief, Harville and Helen, is that most conflict comes from objections to difference. And in a conscious relationship, rather than be judgmental about why someone is different or does things differently, be curious. And I go back to our experience years ago now. We spent 6 years in Zambia in Central Africa. And I think we were pretty good about being curious about, isn't it interesting that they do things that way? That's not how we do them in Canada. But rather than judge it, it's just being curious. And I think you want to do the same thing in a relationship. The two of you are different. You're going to look at things differently, do things differently. Be curious rather than judgmental. Okay? Have a great week. See you next week. And then we'll finish number 24 and 25 and then move on to something else. Cheerio. Have a great week.